Thank you for tuning in to TTV. I'm your host, Toya, and today is Wonderful Wisdom Wednesday. Yeah. But we're going to get started. But before we do, a couple of things. Please like, subscribe, and share. Because if you get anything out of the content for today, somebody else will as well. So share with those you know, love, and care about. Also, I know you're coming up on the Christmas season and you're looking for gift ideas, so check out the links below for my book, T's Collection. Short read, wonderful read. Like I said, a lot of stories I came up out of there were from dreams I had, okay? So short stories, poems, a couple of songs. Also check out the link down below for Young Living, which is an essential oil company, best in the business. They do not sponsor me, but I am distributor for them. So check out the link down below for great Christmas ideals with those two links. And let's get started. So today, being Wonderful Wednesday, we go over the Tao Te Ching. And what this is basically it's a book of Proverbs, okay? Old Chinaman Proverbs. What's remarkable to me and why I take the time to go over this with you guys is a lot of the lessons that are in here, even though this book was written 4,500 years ago, is still relevant today and in today's world. To me, that is remarkable that almost 5,000 years later, we as humans are still having the same issues and still having the same problems when it comes to connecting to the other side, or trying to find the road of integrity or just basically be the best version of the person that you can be today. And the Tao Te Ching, like I said, is a book of wisdom that tries to give you little proverbs to help guide you along the way of becoming that best version of yourself, to give you little tidbits, almost like talking to an elder. And like talking to an elder, sometimes when you read it, it sounds like, what you talking about? I don't understand. I don't get this. What you saying? But later on, you'll come to, oh, that's what you were talking about. Okay, I got you. And for me, myself, when I go over these verses, because they do call them verses, even though it's not religious text, when I go over these verses, it's funny to me how majority of the time it's relevant to whatever is going on in my life. Even though I'm sharing this with you guys and I just do one a week, it is relevant for what's going on in my life. So we're going to see how this applies today, and I'll let you know at the end if it's relevant to things that's going on in my life. But let's get started, because today is illusions and reality. What I do is I go through and I read it first, and then afterwards I go section by section, which is 3 sections in today's. So I go section by section and give you my opinion of it. I do implore you to drop a comment down below and tell me what you think. Like, what did you get out of this? What impression did you get, or your first thought? So let's get started. So completeness can seem incomplete, yet completeness that we achieve can be remarkable. Fullness can seem empty, yet the fullness that we achieve can be very useful. Truth can appear as a lie, straightness can appear as twisted, skillfulness can appear to be clumsy, eloquence can sound like foolishness. But the dialect of yin and yang is not illusionary. Activity can overcome a cold. Tranquility can overcome heat, and peacefulness is the natural seed of a violent world. Natural seed of a violent world. Okay, so let's get into it. I'm gonna break it down, tell you what I think. You drop in the comments, tell me what you think, and let's get to it. So completeness can seem incomplete, yet the completeness that we achieve can be remarkable. Fullness can seem empty, yet the fullness that we achieve can be very useful. So, starting with the completeness part, we as humans, we look for things that we feel will give us that completeness that we're looking for, that wholeness, that feeling one, okay? And we look for it in the things we do. We look for it in the people that we have in our lives, the environment that we in. Like, we look for this completeness in everything that's around us. And it says that we achieve can be remarkable. The completeness that we achieve can be remarkable. So when you get to a point where you feel fulfilled by everything that's in your life and that environment, and you feel complete, it is kind of remarkable how you get to that point, because it takes a lot. It's not like you just wake up one day and all of a sudden you feel complete. It's a progression, and it took some time to get to that point to where you feel like, yeah, this is the life. And then when it talks about fullness can seem empty. So when you get to that point, even though your life is complete and you made whatever goal it was you're going to make, you feel like something is missing. So yes, it can be useful that you got to that point, but now you're in a situation where you feel like you need more and you get to start it all over again. You get to look for something else now that's going to complete you, and you get to use all the knowledge that you brought to the first completion to use on the next one, and it just keeps going on and on. So to me, that's a beautiful part. Truth can appear as a lie, straightness can appear as twisted, skillfulness can appear as clumsy, eloquence can sound like foolishness. So truth can appear as a lie. How many times have we heard somebody tell us the truth and you think they lying? Like if I won the lottery and I come and I tell you, y'all not going to believe this, but I won the lottery. Even though it's going to be the truth, it sounds like a lie. Okay? No, I haven't won the lottery. Not yet anyway. But I just use that as an example. But if somebody were to come to you, like your brother, your sister, cousin, neighbor, best friend, whatever, was to come tell you that, the first indicator, you're going to be like, you lying. That's going to be your first thought, is you lying. You making this up. You trying to, it's not April Fools, like, come on. But it's actually true because it sounds too good to be true, right? So truth can appear as a lie. Straightness can appear as twisted. Sometimes when we're going and we got this path that we think we're going to go, like this job that we think we're going to have, and, it's not as straightforward as they said it was, Like, think about it when you put something together. Like, they'll tell you, oh, you only need these 3 tools. That's it, And it comes down to putting it together. It's not that straightforward. Okay, yes, it is simple to put together, but it was not that straightforward. I only used them 3, but you ain't tell me I was gonna have to sit back and try to pop these, pieces out of this, and I had to do this and twist that and all. So it wasn't as straightforward as you thought it was. Okay, skillfulness can appear clumsy. So mechanics are good for this. Okay, mechanics are really good when it comes to that. They may be really skillful, but I'm gonna give you a good example. So sometimes the lug nuts get kind of rusted on, or they a little hard to come off, especially with the little zoop, zoop, thing that they use to really put them on. And yes, I did that sound zoop, zoop. But anyway, so they're gonna put the little lug nuts on, and sometimes when it comes to taking them off, they have a difficult time taking it. And when you looking at them doing it, like, dude, all you doing is taking off a lug nut. Why are you doing all that bouncing around, banging, and everything else? So it looked like they don't know what they're doing, but they do. Because sometimes even the professionals, even as skilled as you are, sometimes the things that you do may appear clumsy to somebody else, may look ridiculous to somebody else, and make them think, yeah, you don't know what you're doing. Eloquence can sound foolish. So if I'm around a whole bunch of people and they talk in ebonics and street language and, yo, this and that, and I come in there, well, good day. I'm talking all proper. It's gonna sound foolish to them. Why are you talking like that? So there are moments where even the eloquence can sound foolish. Okay, so but the dialect of yin and yang is not illusionary. Activity, drop it. Y'all, this dog be trying me sometimes. The dialect of yin and yang is not leave it. Come. Leave it. Okay, sorry about that. But the dialect of yin and yang is not illusionary. Activity can overcome cold, tranquility can overcome heat, and peacefulness is the natural seed of a violent world. Now, this one is interesting. And the reason I say that is yin and yang are balanced, okay? So no, they're not going to give you any illusions. It's not going to be like, it is what it is. It's like truth. You take it for what it is. Even if you don't, it still is what it is. That's really what it boils down to. So it's not going to delude you. It's not going to pretend to be something else. It is balanced, and that's it. So when you look at environment has to balance out. You have to have the good. You have to have the bad. Like, they have to balance, okay? And that's how yin and yang are. So it is what it is. Activity can overcome cold. So if you are freezing cold, you're going to move, right? So I mean, you can even look at that like the cold being stagnant. Like when you in a place and you feel like you standing still, yes, you get cold, and it takes you to move in order for you to warm up, to heat up the body. So sometimes if we feel like we just standing still, sometimes all you need to do is just move in a direction. Even if it's not direction, just because of the fact that you're moving, you're going to get pushed into the right direction. Tranquility can overcome heat. Tranquility is when you're sitting there and you're in peace. So if you're sitting there and in your peace and you're calm, you're not doing all that movement around, you're going to cool off. And sometimes we do need that tranquility to sit there in that peace and quiet so that we can reflect on everything that we've done. Okay, so that's what I get out of that one. And then, and a peacefulness is the natural seed of a violent world. I love that line. Out of this whole thing, I think that's my favorite part of this whole thing. Because in order for you to even consider peacefulness, it has to be the opposite of it, as an example. So you can't have peace if you don't have war. You can't have everybody getting along if you don't know what it's like for them not to get along. So it kind of goes hand in hand. So you can't have peace without the violence. The violence is what makes you call for the peace. The disruption is what makes you call for the peace. The imbalance is what makes you call for the peace. So you can't have one without the other. So again, that's my interpretation. That's what I got out of it. I implore you again, please leave your comments down below. Like, subscribe, and share. Tell me what you think off of today's message. I love you, and I will talk to you tomorrow.